Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome all to the live. We are live and rolling, getting things ready. Hello. Welcome. Let your people know that we are live and rolling. For those who would like to watch this on a replay, you already know where you need to go. When you go on there, just put in reset with Coach Sheffy, and this will give you, what you need in order to watch the replay. Welcome everyone. As you can already see here, today we're going to talk about how to be able to show up, right? I'm going to teach you about get addicted for discipline, okay? And I'm going to share four principles that are going to help you. If you've been struggling with staying consistent, if you have been struggling with staying consistent, if you have been struggling with showing up and starting to finish, this live is definitely for you. And if you're watching this on a replay as well, this is definitely for you. For those who have been struggling with starting, following through, resisting, and finishing, those who have been struggling with these four things, this is what I'm going to share with you some of the things that have been, that you need in order to follow through. Okay, some of the things that you need in order to follow through. Okay, let me know where you're joining in from. Where are you joining me from? For those who are watching this on a replay, also let me know where you're joining in from, what part of the world you are joining from. Okay, TikTok, you know what to do. Tap on the screen, let your people know that we are live. Okay, everybody else, you know what to do. Welcome. Now, what is the title? What are we talking about today? We are talking about how to get addicted to discipline. Okay, get addicted to discipline. Get addicted to discipline. Okay, get addicted to discipline. If you have ever struggled to start a project, follow through, continue showing up, and then finish, this live is definitely for you. See, according to statistic, only 8% of people can fully start a project, or they can say, today I am going to show up and show up fully. The other 92% of people, they are mostly the ones that are known as a chronic starter. And please don't take this in the wrong way. I used to be a chronic starter and I know how it is. Not only do I have the certification to to coach my clients about those who have been starting without following through, but I've lived it as well, okay? I've lived this as well, so I know that these four principles that I'm going to share with you, they will help you, okay? And especially the last principle is what you want to know. The last principle is what you need to know to keep you showing up, even if you don't feel like, coming forward, or even if you don't feel like showing up for anything at all, okay? Now, I know most of you, you've heard about motivation. You have been told the reason why you are not showing up is because you are not motivated. Okay, maybe you've been told it's because you're not disciplined enough. So you think that you have a motivation problem, or you think that you have a discipline problem. Okay, or you may even say, okay, maybe I don't want it bad enough, because that's what you've been told. That's what you believe in. You believe if I'm not seeing the results, it's because I am not motivated to get that result. If I'm not seeing the result, it's because I am not disciplined to get that result, or it's because I don't want it bad enough. But let me tell you, as someone who is known as the motivational force, I can definitely tell you that the reason why you are not showing up, it has nothing to do with motivation. The reason why you are not showing up has nothing to do with motivation. Okay, because we can tell that you have motivation for everything. And let me tell you, I usually say this: motivation is that friend that will promise you, please call me to come and clean your driveway whenever you have been snowed in. And then when you call motivation, or you call this friend, the friend will be like, I'm sorry, I'm sleeping. Okay, if you've ever had a friend like that, or you know someone like that, or maybe that's even you, please put me in the chat. Here we do not judge, but we just, engage to know that we are ready. And also I want to know the type of people that I'm talking to tonight, the ones that are watching tonight, okay? So motivation doesn't stay. Motivation, the role of motivation is this. Thank you for all the tapping. The role of motivation is this. Motivation only gets you started, okay? Motivation only gets you started. And most of you thought motivation was supposed to stay there till you see the results. No. The goal of motivation is this. And I know that what you're getting tonight, what I'm sharing with you tonight, is definitely going to liberate you so that the next time when you wake up tired, okay, maybe you just went through a breakup, right? And you're like, oh, you had this goal, but you feel like not showing up because you're waiting for motivation. Now you will know that what you need is not motivation, okay? And I know because most of you have been waiting on motivation, that's why you have not been showing up. And I want to give you the 4 techniques that you need, the 4 principles, the 4 formulas that have helped me in order to break out of that lie of I need a motivation. At the same time, it's also the formula that I've used to coach my clients. I had a client that came in. She said, Coach, I'm going through this in my relationship. I want you to help me because I'm an identity coach. But when we sat, we definitely understood that it's not just about the relationship. It's about the relationship that she is entertaining with herself. It's the way she sees herself, right? So these 4 principles that I'm teaching you, that I'm going to teach you today, is definitely going to help you so that you don't keep repeating the pattern. Most of you're repeating the pattern because you think that motivation is what it is. For those who are just joining, welcome to the live. If you're watching this on a replay, thank you for watching, and also you know what you can do. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about how to get addicted to the right thing, which is what? Discipline, which is what? Consistency. Okay, most of you right now, you are living in the past, okay? You're living in the past, and the reason why you're living in the past is because your brain, please follow here, your brain doesn't bring to you what you desire. A desire for the brain is just a desire, okay? When you say, for instance, what is a desire? When you tell yourself, I am going to wake up at 6 o'clock to go to the gym, that is just a desire. Whenever you tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock to go to the gym, the brain doesn't see that as a reality yet. It has not been anchored in the brain yet, okay? It's very important. When we set a goal, what does the brain do? The brain sees it as, is this, what will be the outcome of this goal that has been set? So that's what the brain does. The brain would look into it and say, okay, this goal has been set. What is the outcome? Is it going to be an effort that I'm going to put in, right? Or is there going to be a resistance? So most of you right now, when you're setting the goal, you don't set a goal as something that you have to navigate through. The goal becomes your downfall. Now, remember, I said the brain doesn't bring to us what we desire. Most of the goals that you have set is just at the desire level. Most of the goals that you have set is just at the desire level. For those who are just joining, welcome to the live and welcome. Thank you for watching the replay. We are talking about how to get addicted to discipline, how to get addicted to consistency. If you've ever struggled to start a project, if you've ever struggled to start a goal that you set, you only start, but you never follow through, you never, push through, you're never resistant, persistent on the journey in order to finish it, this live is going to help most of you. I'm going to share 4 principles with you, and these are the same principles that I've taught my clients, especially the ones that have been chronic starter. Okay, I'll tell you what a chronic starter is in a few minutes. But in these 4 principles, all of them are really important. But the last one is the one that will definitely make you say like, oh, finally, I get it. Okay, so if you've been asking yourself in a silent way, is this how my life is going to end? Let me tell you, no, your prayers have been answered. Now, desire. There is something called desire, okay? Now, the brain doesn't bring to us what we desire. And a desire comes from here. When you said, I am going to, a desire, it's always in the future. Okay. I am going to show up at 6 o'clock. That's just a desire. So any desire, which is I'm going to show up at 6 o'clock, I'm going to do it. Anything that has to do in the future is never registered in the brain. It's not anchored. I will not say registered, but it's not anchored yet. So because you've said, I am going to show up at 6, what did you do in that moment? The brain, it's only perceiving that as a cue to scan your track record. So follow here. When you said, I am going to show up at 6, I'm going to eat healthy, okay? I am going to reach out to my friend. All these things, they are in the future. So it has not been anchored in the brain yet. But now follow this. Even though it has not been anchored yet, it's a cue for the brain to scan your track record to see when have you ever said something that you follow through. So if you're asking yourself today, why is change so hard? If you're asking yourself, why is change so hard? This is the reason why. Your brain doesn't respond to desire. Your brain does not respond to desire. Your brain only responds to what is familiar. Okay? Remember I said desire is not anchored, but desire is a cue to the brain to partner with you in order for you to show up. The same as the nervous system and all that. So whatever you've done in the past, it's a record, and it's like in your memory bank. Okay? Whatever you've done in the past, whether you show up or you didn't show up, whether you said you're tired, whether you call yourself all these names, they are recorded in your brain. So the next time when you desire something, that's a cue for the brain to go ahead and start looking. If the brain finds a track record of someone who always shows up, the brain would then push this into the center that is going to help you to show up. But if the brain has discovered that in the past, whenever you said you're going to show up, you never follow through, that's the same thing that the brain is going to bring to you, okay? That's the same thing that the brain is going to bring to you. For those who are watching on the other platform, I'm so sorry. My camera is doing whatever it wants to do, but we are going to follow through, okay? So now, this being said, your desire is a cue to the brain. Your desire is a cue that you're giving to the brain. And what are you telling the brain here? Today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day. My apologies, okay? So your desire is a cue to the brain. When you said, I am going to, that's just a desire. I'm going to, that's just a desire. So it's a cue to the brain. Now, what is the brain getting from this? You're telling the brain in this moment, go scan my record, okay? So you're telling the brain, scan my record to see if you find any results that will motivate me, not just to start, but to be consistent on the journey. Can I say that? Let me say that again. Your cue of when you say desire, when you say I want to or I am going to, it's in the future. The future is just an illusion. So you are cueing the brain to do what? You're cueing the brain to scan your record, your past, to see if you have showed up in the past whenever you said you were going to show up, if you did follow through. So what is the brain going to do? Because the brain has to scan everything that you've done in the past. So when the brain is scanning, please follow me here, okay? When the brain is scanning, this is what the brain will start seeing. For someone who has not been consistent for many years, even if it's 2 weeks, that is there. So the brain will start scanning your track record, and what will the brain see? The brain will see that this person is inconsistent. This person, they start strong, but they disengage. This person, they doubt themselves. This person, they don't know their identity. This person, they have gone through abuse and all these things. So that's what the brain will bring back into your conscious, because the brain is scanning what? Your soul, everything that you've been through. Now, the reaction that comes from you not showing up, that's where the shame is. So here you are, you told yourself, I am going to show up. But when the brain went and start doing the work, the behind the scene, the brain just noticed that, oh, in the past 5 years, they never followed through. In the past 1 year, they never followed through. In the past how many weeks, they never followed through. So that's what is anchored in the brain. The opposite is the same for someone who have been showing up consistently. Okay, so the brain can only bring about that which you have fed it. If you have, and nature teaches this so well, right? You can't plant an orange seed hoping to get a banana. So that which you have fed your brain with, that which you have fed your subconscious with, that's what the brain will keep bringing to you over and over and over and over again. So if you've ever asked yourself, why is it so hard to change? It feels like it's hard to change because the brain doesn't see anything yet. Now, how do you start and you follow through? By the way, the people that only start, they are known as chronic starters, okay? The ones that have the desire, the ones that know that they're capable of achieving something great, the one that knows their potentials, but they can't go as far as just staying at the potential level. These are the ones that are called chronic starters. I used to be a chronic starter. I was one of the, I don't even want to say the best chronic starters, but I had all these desires. I had more than 10 to 15 journals that I never finished. I'll buy the journal because I thought it's because I needed to start it afresh. So every new journal or every season, I will just get a new journal. What was I doing in that moment? I was just running away from the shame that language of shame that kept playing behind the scene, that was playing in the background. So I'll tell myself, maybe I just need a new journal, or I needed to change my plan altogether. No matter how many times I change the plan, nothing changes. It's the same way I showed up, tired, and it's the same way that I would just disengage. Okay. But like I said, these 4 principles, these 4 methods, these 4 framework are going to help you. Now, what is the first framework that will help you? Because some of you right now, this is what is happening. Even though you have the goal set, you do not have a structure. Some of you lack structure. So this is what the 4 principles are going to teach you. They're going to help you to have a structure, okay? These 4 principles, they're going to not only teach you how to have a structure, a support system, and accountability reset. So structure, accountability, emotional regulation, and a system that will support you. Let me say that again. These 4 principles that I'm going to teach you, this is not part of it. But I was just saying the reason why it looks like you are not showing up consistently is because of why you need a structure. You cannot set a goal without a structure. Right now, most of you, the goals that you're setting, you are setting a goal to please someone. Because maybe you've gone through a childhood where you were always performing, you are at the performance level. By the way, we are human beings. Before you can fully step into who you are, you have to be a being person. Most people are not in that being state, they just want to perform. Okay, that's why even the goals that you set, if you go back, you look at the goal that you set, you're gonna know if you set the goal just to perform, if you set the goal just to prove to people that you can do it, you're still stuck in the past. By the way, you're still at this level, the past, because the past condition the way you need to move in life. Okay, the past is the memory. Your past is your memory, and the future is the illusion. But unfortunately, not everybody, most people are living in the past or in the future. Most people are living in the past, which is the memory, or in the future, which is the illusion, but never in the present. Okay, the past will remind you of the things that you wish you did, the ones that you wish you did not do, the people that you wish you did not hang out with, and all these things, they are not bad, but it becomes, it takes away from your originality when you end up spending 2, 3, 4 days to weeks and months in the past. Remember, the past is just a memory. And memory holds what? Memory is like the place where there is dry bones. Life is only in the present. So anytime you visit the past and you end up trading your address, your emotional address with the address of the past, what you're doing is you are changing life with the past. So you're pouring life into the past because life is only in the present. This is why you keep repeating the same pattern over and over again. Most of you right now, if the pattern is not fixed, you are going to live your 2020 in 2029. This is not a prophecy, but it's just a reality. And let me tell you what do I mean by that. Because we prepare our future in the present. But here you are in this year 2026, you've spent the whole year 2026 being in the past. So if you're stuck in the past, and this is where the people will tell you, I am stuck. So if you're stuck in the past, okay, if you're stuck in the past, when will you have the clarity to prepare for your future? And that's how, when you end up in the future, which is 2027, what you're doing is you're dragging the past with you, which is 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, into the future. So what is the first principle that would help you? The first principle that will help you is this, okay? The first principle that will help you is your identity. Your identity is, knowing your identity is like the North Star. Let's put that in the chat. Number 1 is identity. Very good. Identity. That is the first thing that you need to do. Your identity. Now, for those who have been on my live, for those who have been on my channel many times, and by the way, if you want to watch this on a replay, you can go on the Big Red app and put in Reset with Coach Sheffy. You'll be able to catch the replay there, because what I'm sharing with you, you don't live like this. As soon as the live is done, it's done. So I want you to be anchored in what you're learning so that you can practice. Information without practice become what? It just become, an information. When you start practicing, when you start doing the same thing over and over again, which is a repetition, that's what is going to make the brain know that actually this person is doing something different. Okay? The brain learns by repetition. Our brain learns by repetition, okay? Now, your identity. When you know your identity is what? It's your North Star. Your identity is what is going to pull you through. In your identity, you also have what? Your purpose, by the way. So, for those who have been on my channel, for those who have been on my live, I've told you, when we talk about identity, you need 2 things to birth your identity. Your imagination and what? And your belief and your emotion. When we are playing charade with people, once they start portraying what they want to tell us, we can tell what it is, because they are doing what? They are putting in our imagination that person or that thing that they want us to see. Alarms are going off. Alarms are going off. Okay, let's go. You're back. Okay. Let's say, for instance, you're playing a charade with your friends, with your family members, and then the person just come in and they're doing this. They're doing this. You might say it's a clown. How do you know? Because they were able to transfer their imagination to your imagination. Please follow me here. This is why I said just go and know where the replay is. Please, let's come back. You see that? Because the person that is trying to communicate the gesture that they're doing to you, they are transferring, okay, their imagination to your imagination. Or better yet, what they did is they invited you into their imagination. Do you see that? They invited you into their imagination. Now, it's not just the imagination. There is also something that adds to the imagination to become your identity, your reality, which is the emotion. That is why when you're doing meditation, just the imagination will not make it. You need the emotion. You need to feel. By the way, what I'm saying here, I'm going to get deeper as we continue to flow. Okay? If you want me to flow, say Coach Sheffy, flow, and let's go. I want to see in the chat, Coach Sheffy, flow. Very good. Okay, I see you're ready. Let's go, let's go. Now, because that person has invited you into their imagination, what do they need to do? They are also adding their emotion to that which they want to communicate in that moment. Okay, so as they are communicating their emotion, which is the, I would say the male and the female, what do? When they come together in the right time, they have to give birth. So that becomes your identity. If I've lost some of you, please put it in the chat and I'll clarify that. Okay, today is going to get deeper, because if you're really ready for change, there is a word that says, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. I know some of you, not everybody, some of you here, you're saying, Coach, I am tired. I've got some of my clients, when the first time they reached out to me was this, Coach, I was praying for someone to help me because I am tired of repeating the pattern of procrastination, because I am tired of repeating the pattern of not showing up fully. I'm tired of the pattern of starting strong and disengaging. So this might just be for you. And if you identify, you know that this is for you, do not take this lightly. Because most of you, what you do is this: you hop on live, from live to live, videos to videos. You are here physically again, but emotionally, mentally, you're not here. What do I mean by emotionally, mentally? Imagination and your emotion, they are not here. If only you know that when you come on live like this, or you're watching videos like this, if you know how to engage, you might be transformed even before you get off the live. But this is what most of you do. When you go on lives, you just allow, or when you're watching a video, you're just allowing that video to just get you at the motivation level, because you are not engaging the imagination. Thank you for the one that says flow. Okay, the imagination, and what else? And your emotion. Okay, that's what it is. But we're going to talk about that later. Right now, we're talking about the identities. What is the principle number one? Principle number one is your identity. Now, your identity, and that's what led me to talk about the emotion and the imagination. Your identity that I'm talking about is not the one that you think that you are. Most people, there are 4 or 6 different levels of identity. There is the one that people think that you are, the one that people believe that you are, the one that you yourself you think that you are, and the one that you believe that you are, and the one that you are. Okay, so it's 5. The one that people think that you are, the one that people believe that you are, the one, and again, think and believe. You see that? Think and believe. So the one that you believe, I'm sorry, that finger. The one that you believe that you are, and the one that you think that you are, and the one that you truly are. Okay? So right now, it looks like you're living multiple identities because you yourself, you're not connected to the one that you are yet. What am I talking about here? As a Christian, I strongly believe this part of the Bible that says we are made in the image and the likeness of God. That is the scripture that helped me to stop self-sabotaging. That is the scripture that helped me to stop being a chronic starter. So I used to be a chronic starter, but with this scripture, I was able not just to be a chronic starter, but I was able to build a resistance. I was able to show up even when things are not flowing the way they need to flow. I was showing up regardless of the result that I was getting. I kept showing up, and then from a chronic starter to a finisher. And that's where you need to be in this moment. You need to develop the habits of a finisher. Okay? Chronic starter, a chronic starter versus a finisher. Okay. Now, that scripture being made in the image and the likeness of God is in the book of Genesis 1:26-27. When you know that you are in the image and the likeness of God, and like I said, that's your North Star, that is going to frame you, that is going to help you to be anchored in the things that you need to follow. Just knowing that you're the image and the likeness of God that's not the whole thing. Because most of you, I believe that once you have read a scripture like this before that said, you've once heard it, or you once read it. But knowing about it, like I said, just having an information is not a transformation. Information is not transformation. So you know about it. What have changed when you know that? Okay, we're talking about the God that created the universe, the one that created the universe, the one that created all things. It says that you are made in the image and the likeness of God. The one that is known as the Alpha and Omega. Hold on to that for a moment. I'm going to expand more on that. Why did I say that? So your identity is the image and the likeness of God. That is the general knowledge, because within the image and the likeness of God, there is your blueprint. In the image and the likeness of God, there is your blueprint. Everyone else is created in the image and the likeness of God. Everyone else, okay, is created in the image and the likeness of God. But not everyone is getting the same results as the ones that have identified themselves with that which has been said about them. Ooh, can I say that again? So in the image and the likeness of God, there is your blueprint. It's called your identity blueprint. And your identity blueprint is what is going to set you up for you to meet the right people. Your identity blueprint is what is going to set you up or position you. Alignment, when we talk about alignment, that's what it is. So when you know who you are, what is it doing? Knowing who you are, this is what it's doing. It's positioning you to be aligned for that which you deserve in life. Okay? Once you know this is who I am, any choice that you need to make in life has to revolve around that. Okay, so that's the first thing. The first thing that I'm talking about is what? Your identity blueprint. For those who are just watching and joining now, even if you're watching this on a replay, what are we talking about? We're talking about how to get addicted to discipline. Most of you right now, even the word discipline, you don't want to hear it, because as soon as you hear the word discipline, the brain took you back to that place, the past, when you struggle to show up. So the brain has you locked in shame. The brain has you locked in shame. So there is the shame spiral that is happening over and over again. Okay? So there is a way that, and so what am I doing here? I'm teaching you the method that is going to help you not only to show up, but also understand that life is not happening against you. Because we think when we are not showing up or when life starts happening, is because something is wrong with us. I used to say those things. And I've coached people that believe strongly that life was happening against them. As a certified identity coach, this is what I love to do, right? And I've helped many people get unstuck from that place of nothing good can come out of me, this is who I am, and all that. What you're forgetting is anything that you tell yourself, it becomes your reality. The brain believes it. Okay? So the first principle or the first method, the first framework is what? Your identity. Who are you? Who are you? And you cannot discover who are you outside of who God is. I don't get it when people are saying, I started searching, I started looking for who I am, and then you see them being far away from God. It's not possible. Because in the word, okay, in the word in the Bible, when David started asking, when he started pondering on the things that God has created, he said, who am I that you are so mindful of me? So your realization of who you are connects you to the creator. It connects you to the source. It connects you to God. Okay? And in him, that's when you start noticing that, okay, that's how you discover your blueprint. In God lives your blueprint. And in God also you have your strategy that you need to flow in life, the concept that you need to flow in life. Okay, so the first principle is discover who you are, which is your identity blueprint. When you know who you are, when you discover your identity blueprint, you also know the type of goals that you need to set for yourself. You're no longer going to be setting goals to please people. You are no longer going to be setting goals to prove to yourself. You have nothing to prove to no one, not even to yourself. Because right now, your self-trust is not there. Because every time you said, I'm going to show up and I don't show up, the brain has filed that for you. I used to say against you. No, the brain has filed that for you because the brain is just doing its work. The same way when you said, I'm going to show up, and then what? You show up, the brain is filing that for you. It's like if you go to the bank and you're putting money in the bank, even if it's $10, whatever money you bring in to put in your saving account, they're gonna put it down, right? So that's the same thing that the brain does for you in that moment. Okay, so now your identity blueprint is what is going to determine the people that you need to be around, the people that need to come in your circle, the books that you need to read, the things that you need to learn in life. So that's the first one. Within the first one, everything else holds. Okay, it's 4 principles. Principle number 2, and I did touch on that a little bit. I talk about once you know who you are, you're going to draw the right people. You're going to bring the right people into your circle. It's called what? Accountability. It says when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. The amount of coaches that I've met because I am ready is mind-blowing. In 2009 is one of the best years of my life. But back then, I wouldn't have said this. Okay? Because 2009 was the year that I was stuck. Of course, I was stuck before 2009, but the 2009 story is one of the one that I will never let go of, because 2009 is when I was pregnant with my first child. And I felt like my life was going all around. As an immigrant coming in this country, being pregnant at that time wasn't part of it. It wasn't part of my plan. And also I knew my state of mind in that moment. So I started thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to transfer to this child? I knew about generational curses. And in that moment, it felt like I was in that low state of mind. So I started panicking. I'm like, wait, is this child coming to continue the story that I didn't want to leave? So I was so out of it. I'm like, what is going to happen? So 2009 definitely marked my life. And I'm glad that I pulled through it. So some of you right now, if you're feeling like, oh my God, what is going to happen to me? Is this how my life is going to end? Let me tell you, because you're ready and because you've prayed, the teachers are showing up. So do not take a moment like this lightly, okay? Do not take a moment like this lightly. Now, let's see. In 2009, like I was saying, that was the moment where reality started knocking. I wasn't longer playing. I started being serious. Sometimes God will bless you with a relationship for you to wake up. Okay. And that was my time in 2009. Not only was I broke, not only was I broken, not only was I rejected. Okay. You understand that? Not only was I abandoned, but I was also inflicting all these things to myself. I was also putting all these things on me, right? So that's the first one. And then when I was ready and tired of whatever I was going through, I showed up. And my teacher, my mentor showed up. The first time my mentor saw me, he was like, Sheffy, you got this. I'm proud of you. I had to look around like, who's the Sheffy that he's talking about? I know it was me, but I wasn't sure because I never heard anything like that. So you might just be at the right place in this moment. Now, number 2, I told you, is accountability. 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 Find yourself someone accountable that will hold you accountable enough that when you are giving excuses, they don't care about those excuses. What they care about is you breaking out of that pattern. Okay? And this can be a friend. It can be someone, maybe you go on, maybe you made a post on Facebook asking for someone to be your accountability partner. So invest in that. And it can also be a mentor, it can be a coach, it can be a pastor, but make sure you trust these people, okay? All of them, right? But the thing is, the first one is what will lead you to the second one. Do not go out looking for accountability if you have not found your identity blueprint yet. And this identity blueprint we are talking about is embedded in God. So everything, it starts from the bottom, but it goes to the first one. So everything is in that big umbrella is everything else is under that umbrella. So that's the number 2. That being said, if right now you're looking for someone to be your accountability partner, this is why I'm starting a group coaching on June 27, 90 days group coaching. For those who are tired of repeating that same pattern over and over again, those who are misaligned, those who know that they deserve best, but they are only attracting the minimum. Those who know that they can do more because people have told them, those who are only there pleasing other people, but when it comes to them, their internal world is all broken and shaking, but it feels like they are stuck in one place. This is what the group coaching is for. At the end of this group coaching, your language is not going to be the same. You're going to have clarity to start and follow through and finish. Okay? You are going to start being consistent. No matter what goal you set for yourself, you're going to be consistent. And you're also going to stop starting over and over and over and over again. And not only that, you're going to start appreciating every little thing and start being accountable to any action that you've taken. You see that? And you start identifying the patterns that have kept you stuck. So those patterns are no longer going to be there, but you're going to start identifying them. Now, number 3 is what? You'll see that everything that I'm saying, they are all connected. Number 3 is this. Number 3 is the prayer. I know you were not waiting for this. It's prayer. Number 3 is prayer. Can I be honest with you? Remember when I said I was a chronic starter, right? I was a chronic starter, but I was also well aware that not only was I a chronic starter, but I've seen the pattern in my family already. So most of you right now, you are functioning from a pattern that has been transferred to you. Not everything can be resolved physically. Not everything can be resolved physically. Some things are spiritual. Yes, some things are spiritual. So number 3 is what? Is prayer. Number 1 is your identity. Number 2 is accountability. Number 3 is prayer. You want to stick around for number 4 because this one is one of the best of all the principles that I've shared with you so far. Number 3 is prayer. Here you are, you might be 25 years old, but guess what? You are functioning with a pattern that has been passed on for over 10 generations already. More than a decade of pattern that has been passed on to you. Okay? So how do you break out of there? How do you break or how do you establish a pattern that worked for you? Prayer. Okay? Not everything can be resolved physically. Some things have to be done on your knees. When I used to repeat the pattern of self-sabotage, I knew this is not normal because you know why I knew it wasn't normal? Because my understanding is I am the image and the likeness of God. And nowhere have I seen in the word that God started working on someone and he leave them there. He is the what? The beginning and the end. That's why I said number 1 is so powerful. Once you know your identity, you understand that this should not be part of my life. Right now, some of you just said, okay, this is who I'm going to be. I don't even need to put in any fight. I don't even need to show up. I don't have to apply for that job. This is just me. Whatever you say you are becomes your reality. Whether you say you can or whether you say you cannot, it's all true. It's all your reality. Okay, so that's where that might just be where some of you are right now. Okay, let's do this. Oh no, this is the wrong one. This is the wrong one. Oh my goodness. So that might just be where some of you are right now, right? Okay, let's fix this. Let's fix this. Technical things. We're back. Are we back? Yes, we're back. Let's go. Okay, so that might just be where some of you are right now. Okay? You are in a place where you are trying to solve something that might be spiritual with physical things. So when you tell yourself, I am stuck, it's because you're misaligned. When you said, I am stuck, it's because you might just be carrying a pattern that has been transferred to you from generation to generation to generation. Now it happened to be that you are the next one to carry that pattern, that broken pattern. When you hear about generational curses, this is what they're talking about. Generational blessing, this is what they're talking about. So they are transferring a mentality, a mindset to the next generation. So right now, you are just living, you might just be functioning with a mindset, an erroneous mindset that has been transferred to you. Okay, so that's the third one. What is the fourth one? The fourth one is the one that even athlete, the best of the best athlete they use in order to see results in their life. It's called the reticular activating system. And this is one of the things that I teach my clients so much, right? And they have done it. I've taught it on my lives many times. People will come back and say, Coach, thank you so much for teaching me this, because I'm able to now embrace myself. I'm now able to show up with the little things, celebrate the little, the smallest of the goals that I've reached, and show up for myself. Okay. The fourth one is called what? The reticular activating system. And this you know about it, but it's called the finisher concept. The fourth one is the finisher concept. Okay. What is the first one? Number one is what? Identity. Within your identity, there is a blueprint. It's called the identity blueprint. Okay. Blueprint. It holds everything that you need to do in this life. And in this identity blueprint, we are talking about God. Your identity is in Him. Okay, before the chaos, before the trauma, before everything, you were in a seed form in God. That's why Genesis 1:26-27 says, in Him we live, we move, we have our, we are in the image and the likeness of God. The other one that I just quote is also one of my scriptures that I love, by the way, because those things, they make you anchored, they make you present, they keep you grounded. Okay, knowing that you are in God, you live, you move, you have your existence. It takes away fear, it takes away anxiety. Right now, let's go. Number two is what? Number two, what did I put for number two? Number two is accountability. Accountability is number two for you. That's the system. The second one. The third one is prayer. Prayer will let you understand that, okay, you know what? That pattern, you have inherited that pattern. That's number three. Number four is the finisher concept. The finisher concept. And this is the same concept that athletes have used. This is the same concept that, the 8% of people that show up, because there are 92% of people that only are stuck in being a starter. But the other 8% of people, according to statistics, they set the goal, they follow through, and they finish. So this is the same principle that the 8% of people, they apply. What do? You see, let me give you an example. Have you ever noticed when you said, okay, when you're, I'm going to buy a red car, and the next thing you know, when you go out, the only thing that you start seeing is the same brand or the same make of car that you said you're going to buy with the same color. It's called activating the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is the part of the brain that helps you to be focused. Okay? So whenever you said you're going to start something, you no longer say, I am going to start something, but you see yourself doing it. If you activate the reticular activating system in that moment, it's helping you to be focused, narrow on that which you said you're going to do. You can intentionally do it by seeing yourself do it, feeling the emotion that you need in that moment. Let me give you an example. You said you're going to read a book. And then what do you do before reading the book? Before physically doing it? You see yourself in your mind eye taking the action. So throughout the day, while you are working, you're doing everything, see yourself in a specific spot, you reading the book. And because you're seeing yourself reading the book, the emotion is also translating into your nervous system. This thing that I'm teaching you is one of the fastest ways to quicken your process of realizing who you are truly. So when you envision yourself doing it, not only are you imagining it, but you are becoming it. It's called the finisher concept. So you are also you are allowing the emotion to flow through you. You are allowing the emotion, the nervous system, to hold on to that emotion, and both become your identity. So at a specific time that you say you're going to read a book, you're going to see yourself sitting physically and reading it. This is one of the most powerful concepts that you want to learn, because this is what LeBron James, all the best of the best, the one that you admire much, this is the concept that they apply. It's the same way before you sabotage. This is the same thing that the brain does to you. So why don't you use that in your favor? Why don't you use that in your favor? That being said, if you have been struggling to show up consistently, I just gave you the 4 principles that you need. The number 1 is knowing who you are, your identity blueprint. Number 2 is your accountability. Find someone that will hold you on the journey. And I'll tell you more about that later. Prayer, okay? This is what helped me to anchor that identity. Number 4 is the finisher concept. Now, on June 27, I am hosting a 3-month session, group coaching session, where you're going to have a lot of people, a lot of accountability people surrounding you. It's a 90 days coaching session, group coaching session, where you're going to be taught how to identify your pattern, that pattern that that is keeping you stuck. You notice that pattern. Not only will you notice that pattern, you also develop a structure, an accountability, emotional resilience, emotional regulation, because most of these things that you've gone through, they are stored up in your nervous system. They are stuck in your nervous system. So I'm going to teach you how to regulate your nervous system. Okay? Let me give you an example. By the way, if you want to be part of this, send me a message, a DM me at info@coachsheffy.com. If you want to be part of this, DM me. If you're watching this on a TikTok, okay, you can go on my bio, the bio, you see the LINK that says, you see the group coaching there. Or the other thing that you can also see there is this. Alarm. The other thing that you will see is you can also book a clarity call with me. Okay, actually, let's do that. Go on the bio to book a clarity call. That's a session with me to see even if you are eligible for this group coaching session. It's not for everybody. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not for everybody. Now, for those who are watching on other platforms, if you want to be part of this, this is the send me an email at coachandsheffys.com. Okay? And then we can go over, you can have that session with me, your one-on-one session with me to determine if this is for you, or even if you're the right person for this group coaching session. And if this is not something that you might be interested in, which I would rather suggest that you take part of, or you're saying I don't have the money to do so, there is a payment plan. Klarna is there, Afterpay is there. Okay, thank you so much for those who are watching this on a replay. Thank you for those who are watching this on a live. You know what to do on YouTube. Please subscribe to this channel, share with your friends, put on the notification bell so that you can come back, because the goal is to go on live every single day. You don't want to keep using this moment as just information. You want a solid transformation. Okay, thank you, TikTok. I appreciate you all, and I will see you the next time. Bye-bye. Okay, YouTube, we are here and rolling. Okay, let's end this. Let's end our live here. What is happening? And now let's end on IG. Okay, let's go. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Let's end it here as well.